Okay, y'all. I'm headed up the mountain right now. Finally got a chance to get up to this one. I was going to go to a different spot, but it's pouring rain, as you can tell, so I opted not to do that because I have to cross the creek, which is flowing really fast right now. I'm going to head up in a different spot, check it out today, and then hopefully tomorrow morning I'll head to the other spot. Alright, made it to this bench. I've seen signs before on this bench, scrapes and rubs and stuff, but I've also seen trails here pretty heavy, and sure enough, you got this trail up here. It's pretty heavy. I found a shed up here a few years ago. I do like this spot a lot. The property line's right here though, and they got a ton of markers on it. So that could play a role into this. I'm gonna look around here. You got a big swamp up here, and it funnels down right here. And cut all in here where it's grown up pretty thick. And up here, it's kind of the peak. And across the swamp, it goes up again. So this is kind of a little hub in here. But I got a lot of this at home, which is reasonable because it's pretty flat. But to be this far up on a mountain, having barbed wire run through a tree like that is pretty incredible. We're on the property line right now with the ribbon, but that's pretty cool. This is, look at this. The whole fence. Pretty cool. Now this is a spot I would definitely want to look at because we got this hardwood ridge here, runs along the swamp. I definitely want to look at this edge. I can see the distant skyline up there, top of the mountain. I just dropped off this ridge to that swamp here. Just jumped up here. There's a lot of this, but I think it's just blown off or scratched off by birds. I don't think there's a lot of deer in here. Alright, I've been off my property for a little bit. On the public. So this is crazy. You can see this a little on the map, but there's this big rock ridge here, and this one right here comes down with the big rocks, and there's just a little ravine in there. And it's not big at all. And the other side just drops off and goes to what this was again, but it's just like a little drop off ravine. And these rocks are huge on it. It's actually really, really cool. I said the deer wouldn't use this ravine, but I actually have a whopping trail through here that's pretty fresh with a bunch of deer tracks on it. So that's interesting. They come right through here. They just use it as a little funnel, which I thought they'd use the other side. This is really huge because this is the first time where I've actually seen acorn sign in this whole mountain, and they're very rare. A lot of maple, not a lot of acorns. So we found a few red oaks here. That's huge, right on the edge of the public. I'm gonna peek around here and see if I can find some feeding sign. All I find is a lot of caps laying around, like all over the place. But I looked up, and sure enough, right over here, there's a pretty fresh rub. But there was definitely deer feeding in here when these dropped. I dropped into a thicker part up here, and there's some acorn caps, but definitely not as much acorn sign or deer sign as up there. But there's a lot of leaves, a lot of oak leaves, so I'm kind of confused. Fresh bed here, but it's got some hair in it. But it's not too big, and there's some other ones that look like they could be beds, like this, and maybe that, but I'm gonna keep going. It doesn't really do anything for me, I think. Now we're back into some, what I would say, feeding sign. We got some big red oaks. You just got these little areas that don't have leaves on them. I think that's probably where deer are scratched up in the fall. But then again, no rubs or anything big. These are broken. These are broken off right here. We got some deer poop. And definitely some scraped up area. That could be something right there. I like this spot. Just dropped off the point here. That's where I'd scrape was up here. Dropped off of it. A little better sign after dropping to this bottom. Second rub of the day. Right over here. Definitely more feed signs right under this triple split oak. Pretty old rub there though. But that's a giant tree. Almost fell. That is a deep scrape. You can actually see some prints in there if you look closely. But that's been hit for a long time. It's called spring showers in the mountains. Tons of water right here. I bet this is dry most of the year, but right now we've had more rain all week than we've had in a long time. So she's flowing really good. Alright, out. Ending this wet scouting mission on a good note with some tracks right there. But I'm almost back to camp actually. Across that whole area and I didn't find much at all. We're gonna head up tomorrow hopefully to the other spot where I've seen a ton of deer sign. Got a bunch of pictures of good deer. Not too promising, but there's that oak flat up top where I found a bunch of sign, some scrapes, and that one big scrape in the bottom there. But other than that, not much. You know, it's all spread out and I didn't run into any deer or anything, but we'll dry off and head up tomorrow morning hopefully. Alright guys, good morning. I am driving in right now on the dirt road to get to this public, but the water is moving so fast that I don't know if I'm gonna get across it. It's going pretty fast with all this rain. It looks kind of dangerous here. Alright guys, it's ripping right now. So this is running fast right here. These rocks were all exposed before, and this wasn't even here. That was all grass, so it's going so fast that it's already overflown into there. Alright, just for reference, how deep this is right now with a stick. That would be over my knee. Going this fast, not worth it right now. I'll come back. But man, that's why it's a good spot. No one's up there because of this eliminator.